Hello, you're watching News Mongolia and MNB World. I'm your host, Ayunda Pasenko. Our top stories. 1,128 more COVID-19 cases confirmed on Wednesday. Mongolian presidential nominees submitted for approval. India's COVID situation worsens. For other news, stay tuned. (1,128 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed nationwide, and 4 more people have died in the past 24 hours, the National Center for Communicable Diseases reports. As of today, 1,128 new cases were confirmed, bringing the total number of COVID-19 cases in Mongolia to 41,524. In the past 24 hours, 1,308 people have recovered, outnumbering the number of newly infected. 4 people between the ages of 65 to 85 died due to COVID-19 complications within the past 24 hours, and the death toll is now 130. 1 patient died of lung cancer, which is not registered as a COVID-related death. Of today's new cases, 1,042 were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar and 82 were confirmed in the provinces. 1,124 are cases of domestic transmission and 4 cases originated at a hospital. Among the 4,961 COVID-19 patients being treated at hospitals, 56.8% are showing mild symptoms of illness and 123 are in critical condition. 55% of Mongolians have received their first dose of COVID-19 vaccine and 25% have received their second shot. Health officials addressed the reluctance among some people in taking part in the immunization campaign and encouraged the public to actively get vaccinated against the virus in order to help themselves and their loved ones. The Mongolian presidential election will be held next month. In the last few days, political parties with seats in parliament have been selecting their candidates for the election.
According to the Constitution of Mongolia, political parties and coalitions with seats in parliament have the right to nominate candidates to run for president of Mongolia with individual or joint party support. The Mongolian People's Party, the Democratic Party, and UNS Coalition and the Right Person Electoral Coalition were able to nominate candidates for this year's race. Recently, the Mongolian People's Party announced that it will be joining hands with the Mongolian People's Revolutionary Party and that they would be nominating one candidate as a reunited party. The MPP has named Khurtsokhna, the former Prime Minister, a Member of Parliament and Chairman of the Mongolian People's Party, as its presidential candidate. He is a political scientist and public administration lawyer. Between 2017 and 2020, he was appointed twice to serve as the Prime Minister of Mongolia. He has been a member of the Mongolian Parliament since 2020. He submitted his resignation from the office of Prime Minister following protests of his government's handling of COVID-19 response measures and the actions of National Emergency Commission, as well as the treatment of people who had tested positive for COVID-19. The Democratic Party, one of the major political parties in Mongolia, is having internal struggles. Currently, the party is divided into 2 factions, each claiming its right to be called the Democratic Party. The 2 factions have each selected their respective candidates. The faction led by Togtgirl, a current Member of Parliament, has nominated Altonhoignoro, a Member of Parliament, former Prime Minister and former Chairman of the Democratic Party, as its presidential candidate. Altonhoig is a biophysicist and experienced politician. He served as Prime Minister from 2012 to 2014. The Democratic Party faction, led by Tolgat, has announced that it will nominate Irteng Sotnamzondo, a former Member of Parliament, as its candidate for the election. The Right Person Electoral Coalition selected Inhuat Tangasurung, a former Member of Parliament, as its presidential nominee. He's a system engineer and was elected to serve in Parliament in 2008. Candidates must submit their campaign platform to the National Audit Office for a review for its economic feasibility. Candidates are also required to submit their campaign platform to the General Election Commission from May 3rd through May 5th. The General Election Commission is required to decide whether to register the candidate within 3 days of submission of their campaign materials. Anticipation and questions surrounded the final selection of the DP's candidate of DP as the General Election Commission will have to approve just one candidate from the divided DP factions. The faction led by Tohtgirl claims that their candidate Altanhoy Noro is the legitimate nominee, as party chairman Tohtgirl and other members of his faction hold active seats in parliament. Mongolians will vote for the next president on June 9th.
High school students in Overhanga province are improving their foreign language skills thanks to the 24 program initiated by a young local leader.
Oyunghand is a business development manager in Overhanga province. She mastered English on her own, and now she has initiated a project called 24, a program to help high school students learn English. A total of 30 students from Harharung, Herkhandola and Arwahir are taking part in the free 5-month program to improve their level of English and personal development skills.
I've noticed that the students in rural provinces generally seem to lack information, and I've realized how many great opportunities they miss just because they don't speak English well. Rural kids, we enter university and go to the city after high school, which can be a moment when we compare ourselves to other students and feel regret about not learning or being aware of something. That was what I experienced, so I decided to give orientations to these students and started this project with the help of members of the Arvahir Toastmasters Club.
Oyunghand shared with us the detailed planning has been crucial to carrying out her project alongside her full-time job. Although it's been challenging, as her students are learning a lot, Oyunghand says she wants to keep investing in the younger generation. Even though the pandemic requires us to stay apart, we shouldn't forget to try to do something positive and benefit society, Oyunghand added.
If you aspire to help others, I encourage you to take any action you can and start doing something about it. Now let's check on the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. And here's the weather forecast for major cities around the world. Well, that's all for today. Many thanks for staying with us on News Mongolia. See you tomorrow with more stories and updates. Please follow MNB World on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.